This girl attempted taking her life away for more than 43 times but failed. How is that even possible? And why did she keep on trying? Well, at the age of 10, Solange found herself abandoned by her parents, left to care for a helpless 2-day-old baby. Over the years, they struggled to find food and shelter, and the burden of survival weighed heavily on their young shoulders. Amidst the darkness, she met a young man. Their bond deepened as the man seemed loving and caring. He promised her marriage and continuous support. The man later disappeared without a trace, leaving Solange heartbroken and pregnant with his child. The pain of abandonment, the scars of broken promises, and the fear of raising a child and her sister alone pushed her to the edge. She attempted to take her life more than 43 times, seeking an escape from this cruel world. But why did their parents abandon them at such a young age? And why would she attempt taking her life away for multiple times? We visit these young girls and they tell us more of their lives. 19-year-old Solange had a rough childhood, having found herself in a family of 5 siblings, but siblings having different fathers. They were treated harshly, so she and her little sister chose to come here and start a more complicated life alone. I lived with my mom together with the grandma. Later on, my mom got married to another man and were left with our grandmother. Even when my mom was still around, she never laughed and showed me some parental care. Normally, mothers loved their children endlessly, but her mother couldn't even enroll her in school after turning 7, where others would go to school and should remain doing some chores. The mother took it too far and even wanted to kill her, something that left her traumatized, and she felt like taking her own life would be the only solution. When I said I wanted to go to school, she said that she's not my parent. She tried to kill me by poisoning me, and the poison lasted for 3 years, until when I decided to take away my own life and things I used to end my life would rather take the poison out of me without even knowing. In searching for a better life, she moved to the city, hoping to make it, but realized that the grass is not greener to the other side and returned back home. After returning, I was surprised to find my mother pregnant, and a few days later, she gave birth to Fiat. And just 2 days after delivering, she left me with the little baby, where we struggled with life, as the grandma was still not helping us either, but labeling us as bastards who were just burdens to her. She was still a young girl by then, who also needed a caretaker, but was left with no chance to look and raise her little sister, as the mother never cared. And since then, she has been raising and taking care of her, but now grateful that at least her younger sister has grown, though affording food and other basic needs remains a difficult task to accomplish. It was difficult to me as a kid, raising another baby. Like during nighttime, she could cry and the grandma would chase us out of the house. When the kid cried hungry, sometimes I would give her only water. Life got even worse as my grandma later died due to old age. Her mother would often return to check on them and then told her to go and find some jobs, which she did as a maid, but was too young for it and failed immediately, hence returning. In one fateful evening, when she had just lost hope after being fired, she met a good Samaritan that was willing to pay the school fees for her, a chance that she never thought she would get, and that's how she went to school. Some of the relatives knew that I was at school and lived in another person's home, and then started saying a lot of negative words, terrifying the Good Samaritan. that had helped me to go to school, who was forced to release me. Her life got more complicated with working in bars at a young age. The mother kept getting married, producing children who never knew their fathers and divorcing. Later on, she died, and Solange was never told of her father until recently when she shared an interview with a certain local YouTube channel and met her father. I was curious of knowing my father and then met him. I was hoping to be loved for the first time by a parent, but he too was as careless as my mother. I was too happy that I met him, though he wasn't even supporting and caring. She's too tall and kept raising her younger sister, whom she's been raising since the very first day when Solange herself had 10 years. And now that Fiat has grown, she considers Solange to be her mother, as she's cared and raised her since her first day on this planet. The interview she did later exposed her to many people, a few supporting her, others not caring. But then he met a man who lived abroad and said they share the same history and would like to help her. The man came and offered some little support. He said he loves this teenager and would like marrying her as they share a lot, but then took the advantage of her. He then had this condition that if I don't let him sleep with me, he would stop supporting us, and I had no any other option but rather accepting it. And after 3 weeks, I realized that I was pregnant, which I informed him. He seemed to be happy, but 3 days after ensuring me that he's happy and willing to be a supportive father, he then proposed another girl. The man has then changed and no longer cares. He started denying pregnancy, and this young girl is struggling alone with pregnancy, plus still taking care and raising her little sister. As someone who is unemployed, it's really a burden to her and should like to get support from anyone with a kind heart. Since she knows that he who impregnated her might watch this, she has a message to give him. I was also born and never had a chance to grow with my father, but I grew. I never thought that such would happen to me and produce a child without a father. But I would tell him that I'll be a good parent, unlike my mother who mistreated me because the dad never cared. I have raised my little sister since young, and raising my own will be like my second one. I will try my best, and he or she will be a good child to me. She urges boys to be real men and not to ever deny pregnancy, but rather take full responsibilities. Now the man who impregnated her flew and went back abroad, leaving her struggle with pregnancy and looking after the little sister. Life is more and more difficult. If given a chance to experience a better life, it would help me and help my sister to relieve of the stress and trauma, because the trauma and the suffering has always pushed me to ending my life. And I tried this for many times. I can remember 43 times, but attempted it for more than those times. After attempting taking her life for multiple times and failing, she then prayed and asked God to help her die peacefully, like sleeping and wake up when she's no longer breathing. But that too never worked. Due to attempting it for multiple times, she has a backache that resulted to when she jumped trying to die but failed, and her back was broken in that process. Now she struggles with doing a few home activities here. The little girl, who is almost turning 9, now studies in primary 3 and would like to have a better life. She dreams big, being the reason she puts in more efforts in her education so that maybe someday she would become an important person. My mom never took care of me as a mother. She left me when I had only 2 days. I'm now grateful that my sister has been taking care of me since day one. as she became both my mother and father at the same time. I don't consider her to be my sister, but rather a parent to me. Despite her efforts, we struggle with life, and that has forced the sister to try ending her life. The two have been struggling with surviving since young, and they would like to get support. They need people to help them with school fees, food, and more so that they can live a better life. If there is anyone willing to change their life for good, you can contribute on thegivinglife.com. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English. Remember to subscribe.